Hey everybody, Karen Murray and my lovely bride,
Hi guys, I'm Sherry Murray.
and we are with Let's Talk About Northwest Wines. And tonight we are doing
But more importantly, it's bottom of the bottle.
what's the bottom of the bottle? We're talking about Northwest Wines. I'm trying to keep my cat from jumping up here on my lap. So it's bottom of the bottle, and we're here with our fake fire. It's look at that,
It's
right?
real.
Yeah. So you can hear crackling and our nice fake fire behind us. And we are, what we do with bottom of the bottle, we drink the first half on the top before the video, and then we drink the second half, the bottom of the bottle, while we're talking to you. And we talk to you about a specific winery and the experience that we've had there. So we can't really talk to you about a wine other than to say we like it or don't like it. We
Yep.
can't really talk to you about
And we'll never actually do one that we don't like because why?
what do you say, right?
I don't like it?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Don't say
you
anything.
just don't see us talking about
Yeah.
it.
So the reason why we can't talk about the actual wine, other than to say we like it or don't like it, is you always hear people talking about the whatever the real fancy schmancy stuff. Well, she might be able to do it, but I certainly can't.
No.
I couldn't tell you about if it's. Well, I can't. I just can't tell you about all that stuff. All I can tell you is if
Our
I
palate,
like it
our
or don't like
palate
it.
is not sophisticated enough to be able to speak in an educated manner about the types of wine that we are experiencing.
Would we call that being like wine stupid?
No, I'm
We're
kind of
we're wine we're wine
Oh, we're wine stupid.
we're wine stupid. We're learning. It's going to
We
take a
are
lot of years.
learning.
But all we can say is we like it or don't like it. So tonight, we're talking about a very special winery to us.
Yes.
We are talking about Cooper Wines,
Yay.
Cooper Wine Company. I always want to say Cooper Winery. Cooper Wine Company in Benton City, Washington, over in Red Mountain. Tonight, Sherry and I are drinking this awesome bottle of Lenizio.
Lenizio.
What does that even mean?
It's in the beginning.
Neither one of us can even see what this says, huh? Because our
My glasses
bad.
are over there.
so I bet when we post this, I bet Neil Cooper will tell us what Lenizio means.
I think it's in the beginning.
Oh, the
or
beginning. It
it's-
says right here. It says the beginning.
See, Neil, I pay attention. I want brownie points for that.
So Cooper. So this is what we're drinking tonight because our Carmenere comes tomorrow. We're going up to.
So this is our in the beginning.
Yeah.
And our Carmenere is just
It's coming
yumminess.
tomorrow. All the wines that they have are phenomenal. So
Yes.
where do you want to start with Coop?
I don't even know how to start with Coop.
So let's see. So
First of all, cheers.
cheers to you, Miss Lenizio, in the beginning. Okay, so, and also, if you see me reaching down and grabbing a piece of salami or something while Sherry's talking,
While I'm talking?
keep talking.
Oh, great. Now he's got a mouthful. Okay, so here's our first experience. And a lot of people will talk about Coop. But one of the things that a lot of people forget about is Sherry. And she's got an amazing name, so we obviously have to talk about her.
I thought you were talking about you. I was like, wow. Talking about Coop's sister.
We're talking about Coop's sister, Sherry. And I would have said that in a minute, but you have your mouth full, so just zip it. Drink, eat, be merry. And I'm going to talk about Sherry.
All right.
Okay, so our first experience, we went for a wine tasting. And Sherry came out and introduced herself to us as we were coming in. During that time, it was when COVID had really definitely been going strong, and tastings were kind of hit and miss. We'll just put it that way. And so she came out to say hello, to find out who we were.
And we were referred, actually, because we were up
referred.
at Col Solari, I think.
Yes.
And then I think you called down there to see if we could stop in, and they said,
We
yeah,
did.
come down.
Yep, we did. And one of the big things for us, because we have an RV, is the fact that they have some RV spaces at the winery, and we really wanted to inquire about how that all worked, because we were intrigued. So we went in for our tasting, and Sherry is fantastic. I mean, obviously, she has an amazing name, but she's just an amazing person. And she took super good care of us. And needless to say, I understand after time that in the Cooper family, wine pouring flows freely. And she did very well at that.
Good pours.
She definitely poured well. When we were talking about the RV, and then we were talking about club membership, she pretty much told us exactly.
Hashtag Coop Club.
Yep, hashtag Coop Club. She basically told us that in order for us to use their space for our RV, we had to have a membership. And now we say hashtag membership has its benefits. Or wait, no, privileges. Sorry. Membership has its privileges. And so she also told us exactly how many cases we could fit in our RV because she's done that before. Therefore, she just quickly checked the box for the highest Coop Club membership and said, here you go, sign this. And we went, okay.
But we got that big carton of
I
goldfish.
wasn't done yet.
Okay, sorry.
So again, eat, drink, be merry. So because of COVID, they at that time couldn't serve any food or snacks or anything like that with their tastings. And we had had a few tastings at that point, and she poured very well for us when we were there. So I was asking her, do you have anything that we could like soak some of this up? And she said, well, we can't really do this, but let me go see if I can find something for you. She comes out with one of those huge boxes of goldfish crackers. And she said, you can take this anywhere on Red Mountain. They're going to know exactly where you got it because that's kind of a staple.
She didn't give us like a handful.
Not a handful.
Or a bowl.
She gave us the whole
said,
big
whole
box. So that was our first impression is with Cooper. They love their members.
And that was even prior to us actually starting the Let's Talk About Northwest Wine's Facebook group, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Must have been early summer. I don't remember.
Actually, it was only about a month, if that, prior to.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the end of summer.
So yeah, we joined that club. Loved it. I can't remember which wines we got.
We loved the wine. We loved the vibe. We loved everything about it.
So this is prior to us meeting her brother Neil. And it was obvious to us at that point that Sherry did all the work, the heavy lifting.
And Neil gets all the credit. Because that's kind of how it is.
That's our gig. You do all the work. I get all the credit, which is a great thing to have. But, I mean, we tried tons of their wines and Lanicio, C4. I don't think we had the Carmenere yet at that point.
No, we did. We had the Super Tuscan. We had the blend.
Gatekeeper. It was all phenomenal. Red Mountain, all estate. If I remember right, I think Coop has about 50 acres out on Red Mountain. That number could be wrong.
I'm not sure about that number.
That part's really cool. And meeting Sherry, oh my gosh, she's just awesome, right?
She really is. She's
amazing.
And
she has a fantastic memory. She remembers like all their members, their names, everything about them.
Well, she has to because she does all of the work and Coop gets all the credit.
Crazy stuff.
Right?
But then, so we joined the club, yes. and then we sometime in there we started our Let's Talk About Northwest Wine's Facebook group.
Right.
And we went back out, which would have been August. Yeah, because we did was a camping trip.
It was right after we started. I think it was the third weekend in August that we went out.
So we went out in August because we took some people with us. We went out to Prosser at the Wine Country RV Resort, and then we did some tastings in Kennewick. Came back up to Red Mountain, and before we went to Kennewick, we had 3 couples, ourselves and 2 other couples, some really dear friends of ours.
Yep, they came in early with us.
They came in early, and so we took them to Coop's. Yep. We thought you got to check this place out.
Where else would you take them when you went into town?
So we went to Coop's, and at that point I knew that Neil had joined our group, and I saw his profile, so I knew who he was. Had never met him, had never had a chance to say hello, and so when we were seated outside, I had just asked whoever was working the day, said, "Hey, is
Yeah, because Sherry wasn't there.
And
Sherry was in Idaho.
I think I said Mr. Cooper. I don't even think I said Neil. I think I said is Mr.
You
Cooper.
did not.
I think so. And I think they kind of laughed at me. I was like I said, Mr. Cooper, you know? And I think they laughed at me and said, yeah, matter of fact, he is here. And I just said, you know, if it's possible, I'd love to be able to say hello. That's all we want to do is just to be able to, you know. And so I figured if he was there, maybe he would come out and hang out for just 10 minutes and say hello. And I had no clue, but I just knew that I wanted to say hello and introduce myself. And so he came out and proceeded to spend between 3 and 4 hours with, and it wasn't just us; it was our friends, which was the coolest part. So,
and it wasn't about us.
Yeah, it was all about.
He knew that we had been there before.
The cool part was just to be able to watch our small group with Neil just geeking out about wine, talking about what each particular wine, why it tastes this way or whatever it was. And then it was fun. So he would disappear and he'd say, hold on. And he'd disappear and he'd go back into inside in the building, and he would pull straight from the barrel and come out with a container that just came
out with this pitcher
straight from the barrel and pour us some more samples, and we'd geek out some more about wine. And I was like, so all these different experiences we have, which is why we're doing the bottom of the bottle, to talk about our experiences. So all these experiences we have, when we get a chance to hang out with a winery owner or a winemaker or, you know, something like that, especially at their location in a vineyard like that, oh my gosh, it's just unbelievable. And so we were like, if this is what the wine industry is all about, where you can hang out at a vineyard and drink wine straight from the barrel with the guy that made it, grew it, the whole thing, we're in. You know, that was the deal. That was the feeling. And I was like, and all of our friends were all, both couples were with us, joined the club immediately. They're like, yep, this is for us too, you know. But it was almost 4 hours, and I'm just like, you got to be kidding. This is crazy. And so the conversations were awesome. We talked about a number of things, and I just thought, wow, I don't know how it gets any better than that, right? So that was our first experience of being able to meet Neil. All the people that work there are phenomenal. So, I mean, every time we've been there, whoever's there doing the tastings, they're phenomenal. They really are. So it's not just Neil and his sister Sherry. There's a group of people that just work their butts off. I mean, his winemaker comes from South America for, you know, once a year, and man, they just make magic. It's unbelievable. So, Stefan, if you ever get a chance to meet Stefan, and that was actually our next experience that completely blew us away. We went out in October, wasn't it?
It was for their 10th anniversary, and before we even got to meet Stefan, because that was almost, I don't want to say accidental, but it was a last minute change. It was a last minute change of plans for us. We went out for their 10-year anniversary party. And here's the one memory of Coop for me that I think was so fun. So when we did our barrel tasting, where he came out with this pitcher, one of the things that he came out and he sampled for us was the Carmenere. And he talks a lot about the fact that it's not just a state, but he grows it. He's not just the owner, but he has, I think, a 5th generation farmer. So he's out there, he's doing all of this stuff. He's getting his hands dirty from day one to whenever it is that it's pouring out of the bottle. So I think one of the things that he says a lot of times is we don't just make it, we grow it. And that's absolutely true, and it's phenomenal. So he brought out Carmenere. I had no idea what Carmenere was, and we had never tasted it before. And
remember, wine newbies.
Yeah, total wine newbies. We're not even to a crawling phase yet, guys. But when he brought this stuff out and poured it, from the minute that wine touched my lips and tongue, I was sold. It was the most amazing experience, and I just can't even put the educated words to it. It was fantastic. And obviously he knew, you know, he was doing a little fishing, and he knew he had totally caught me, right? So when we went out in October?
September. Yeah, I think it was September.
For their 10-year anniversary, we walked out from parking and we were in the fields.
It was September 11th is their anniversary.
Yeah, but I thought
I don't know if it was
pushed.
maybe it did.
Anyway, nonetheless, when we walked out, we saw Coop. He was standing there and he was pouring for people, and we said hey, and he's really great about saying, this isn't about me, this is about everybody else. This is where you need to go. This is what you need to do. But what he did is he was pouring Carmenere. And I was like, dude, are you kidding me? And I think that's all I said. He just looked at me and he smiled. And if you've ever seen Neil look at you and smile and walk away, you know good things are going to happen. You just wait for it, right? So he looks at me, he smiles, he walks away. And I'm like, okay, what's going to happen? He comes back, he pours some Carmenere into his cup that he had, and he hands me the bottle. And I looked at him and I kind of laughed a little bit. And I'm like, dude, this is your Carmenere. I am so totally not above drinking out of this bottle. And he just kind of giggled a little bit and he goes, I know, that's why I gave it to you. So I'm sitting there in the winery, out in the wine, in the fields, in the vineyard, drinking Carmenere straight from the bottle, and I'm totally okay with it, and I would do it again today.
And I think it was the 10th year that we went there the next day, right?
It was the next day is when we actually showed up accidentally.
So we had a great time with the 10th year. I mean, wow, what a just. I can only imagine how much better it is in a non-COVID, a non-pandemic year, right? So this thing was just phenomenal, all by itself. It was just really, really, really good. But so we stayed. Typically, when we go out to East Washington, we'll come back on Mondays, and so we stayed until Monday. So on Sunday, we were back out wine tasting different places, and we thought, it was maybe about 4:00 in the afternoon, and we were in there, and we thought, you know what, let's finish our day at Coop's. And that's the cool thing about being a club member is stop in when you want and have a tasting and just hang out. And what a phenomenal place just to hang out, when the sun's out and you can sit there and the wind's coming through and you can look out at the vineyards and drink wine. It's all over. Come on, give me a break, right? So it's a great place to start, to end, whatever you want. It doesn't matter. But so we decided to end it there. Mm-hmm. And so we had walked inside. Everybody was gone except there was just a handful of people.
Because
3
it's
or
Sunday,
4.
they close early.
Yeah, it was Sunday coming up on 5:00. And we didn't even think about it, but we went in, and instead of them, number one, turning us away saying we're getting ready to close, they said, yeah, come on in. Well, actually what they said was, are you club members? Mm-hmm. Right?
Hashtag club member.
Yeah.
Club membership has its privileges.
Yeah. So if you're not club members, they probably, I would imagine, would have said, we're getting ready to close, but membership has its privileges, right? So they said, come on in. So we went in, and someone else actually came in behind us, and the same question was asked is, are you members? So everybody at that point, and I think there was about 6 or 8 of us actually in there, and everybody was a member. And Sherry had sent a message to Neil on Facebook saying, hey, we're in your tasting room if you want to come join us. And he gets this message, and sure enough, comes walking through the door, and here's Neil.
About a half hour later, he shows up.
Yep. And so we sat there, and for another 2.5 hours, just sat there solving the world's problems, having a great time. And of course, he's grabbing some different wines, and we're trying different wines, and it was a great experience. And then there was a guy who was standing off to the side, and I'd seen him in all these pictures on Coop's social media. And that's one of the other things that Coop does just as good or better than any other winery, anybody else I've ever seen. His social media is like unbelievable, in my opinion. And so I had seen these pictures of this other guy, and so I asked Coop, I said, who's that guy over there? And he said, you never met Stefan? I was like, I don't even know who Stefan is. He said, that's our winemaker. So he called Stefan over. Stefan comes over, starts drinking wine, and he tells us a story about how they got together, which is, and I'm not even gonna spoil that. You need to become members. You need to go listen to these stories, because it's almost chilling. It's like, this is the coolest thing ever. And so we sat there and listened to the story as we're drinking the wine that the two of them made together. Yeah. I think that's just, pardon my French, I think that's the shit, right? I think that's just,
we're talking about Coop.
To me,
that's totally allowed.
To me, that is just the shit. So we're having a great time. And The one thing that I remember about that most of all, well, two things. One thing was Sherry drank way too much that day and was having a hard time keeping up. But that was okay. It was all right.
Wow.
But
Ba-bump, ba-bump.
yeah.
I feel like the bus just went over the top of me.
The second thing was when we went to leave. I'm a guy. I like to hug, and I rather than do a handshake. I still like to do handshakes, but hugging is kind of my jam. But you gotta be hugging the right person.
So what you're saying is you're a sentimental guy.
Yeah. So, but hugs are kind of reserved for the right type of people, right? It's not just for everyone. And so, when we went to leave, Coop and I gave each other this hug that wasn't one of those, hey, see you later. It was a little bit longer, a little bit lingering. And it was one of those when I left, I just told Sherry, I said, it just felt like one of those hugs as if both of us were saying to each other, yeah, I get you. We're going to see more of each other, right? And so I was like,
you're my people.
Yeah, that was it. It was, you're my people, right? And so I was like, wow, that was the shit for me. I was like, this is amazing. And so, being out in their vineyards was really, really cool. And what really made me think about, one of the reasons why we want to do this for Cooper tonight was in the last 2 months, I've had some, and Sherry's had some reminders just how fragile life can be. It was my father passed away October 5th. Matter of fact, we were supposed to be at Coop's place with our RV, and we canceled the trip because we were with my dad. My dad passed away. And then on December 6th was the 3-year anniversary of my mom passing. And my mom and dad were like the king and queen of connecting. And they were people. My dad really more so. My dad could connect with anybody on this planet. And anywhere you'd go on this planet, my dad would run into someone he knew. It was just amazing. And so I know my mom and dad, they were always excited about when I would tell them about new connections and new people that we had met and things we were doing. And I know that my mom and dad, although they didn't drink, would love Neil Cooper and his sister Sherry and the entire staff. And my dad would sit out there for hours and talk your ear off, sitting in the vineyard, sitting at the winery, and not even have a sip of wine because they didn't drink, but because they're people. And Neil is people, right? And the hug was kind of like, you're my people. And so these reminders with my parents and stuff, I was like, yeah, when you start to get into this whole wine thing, at least for us, is the friends you make, it's more like family. When you really start to get down into some stuff, and so that's the way we feel about Cooper Wine. Not every single winery, but we've had that connection, and we love their space out there. And I've told Neil one of the things I want to do when we were there for the 10-year anniversary. You walk through the vineyards to different places, and they had things set up, and they were pouring different wines at different places. They have this place. I think it was called the Bald Spot. Mm-hmm. It's out in the middle of these vineyards, and it's just like an open grassy area. And I told Neil, I said, I want to come back and do an event out in the Bald Spot with 30, 40, 50 people. They got to buy tickets to be there. It's not a free thing. You got to be able to appreciate how important and special that type of event would be. But you would come to this and sit at the Bald Spot, and you'd pay for it. They maybe bought bottles, so you could sit there and actually drink bottles of their wine, and then maybe you had some food. But there's a small stage there, and I would sit there up on stage with Neil and just interview him, pick his brain, open it up to anybody there, talk about wine, talk about the wine business, talk about what it takes to grow your own grapes. Just totally geeking out for 3 or 4 hours out in the middle of 50 acres of vineyards that this guy grows, surrounded by the grapes, drinking the wine, creating this context of abundance and love and success and the whole thing that it represents. And these people get a chance to connect directly with that guy. The only thing that would make it better is if he was there and Stefan was there and Sherry was there, and so that it could be, the whole group. But it's just one of those places. It's just magical. And we've since talked about it more. I think I actually posted in our Facebook group, and And
we had a lot of people that
and-
said, "Yeah, we're in,"
Yeah.
and we told Coop apparently there's no getting out
I
of
didn't.
it
I forgot to go back and I forgot to go back and really ask him again or anything. But
Oopsies.
he sent me a private message and said, "Dude, we are in. Let's do this." And he wanted to nail down a date. And I'm like, "Should we wait until the sun's kind of back out or something?" You know.
And
But-
COVID's over.
Yeah, but I don't think we're gonna wait till. I don't know about COVID, but I don't think we're gonna wait till that's over. But even if
We'll
we're all
figure
out there,
something out.
we'll figure something out. But it's that type of space that number one is you have phenomenal wines, and there's a lot of places that make phenomenal wines. But after the phenomenal wines wear off, it's how do you connect with everything beyond the wine, the person growing it, the person making it, the person selling it, the whatever it is, right? How do you connect
Ultimately,
with all
it's
that?
the experience.
It is. It's all about the
Yeah.
experience, and that's why we started this particular series on Bottom of the Bottle. It's all about our experiences, and I think this one has probably gone longer than any one we've done, probably because we've had more fantastic experiences at Cooper's than any place else. And that's not. I don't want to say that to be.
It's not that any of the other
Yeah.
experiences that we've had are bad, because obviously
They're
we
phenomenal.
talked about in the
Yeah.
very beginning, we don't talk about them unless we've had amazing experiences. We've just had more, as far as volume goes, experiences with Coop and the staff.
And each one builds on the other. They get
do.
better and better. And
They
we're
do.
gonna go see them tomorrow up in Issaquah or
Yeah.
somewhere. Pick up our club wine and get a chance to see him again, and which will be cool because we probably won't see him again until spring when the
Right.
snow's not there and stuff. But they're not far away. There's a phone call or there's a Facebook message, and I have no doubt that anytime if we happen to call out and ask for Neil, that, or if he's not there, could you have him call me back? I think he'd probably call back and go, "What's up? What's going on?" It's just.
He's just a good guy.
But the thing is, I think he would do that with just darn near anyone, especially a club member, right? So,
I believe that 100%, because here's the one thing that I thought was really important, and I just want to go back to this really quickly. When we were sitting there with two other couples that we brought in, and Neil spent 3 to 4 hours with all of us geeking out about wine, right? One of the things that he did is he brought out, when they got their wine membership, he brought out glasses for each one of them that were Cooper glasses. And that's not something that they really have a lot of. I think he actually went into his personal stash to get those for them. And the one thing that I remember him saying to me, because I kind of was being the princess going, well, wait a second, where's mine? And the one thing that he said about me is, isn't it more important of how I treat your friends?
Yeah, that's one of the big things when he said that. Both of us went, okay, he gets it, because it's more important to him, but it's also more important to us.
Absolutely.
And the places we have the best experiences are always the places we'll take our friends first.
Yep.
And the places that we've joined the wine clubs, they all get that. They totally understand that. And Neil gets that. And so here's what I would just highly recommend, because I know we probably got on way too long for this one.
And hopefully y'all are still sticking with us.
Yeah.
Because it's important to us.
Maybe the only one still watching this point might be Neil at this point, right? There's no one else watching. I don't know. I hope you're watching, right? But here's what I would recommend. Number one, if you've never had their wine at all yet, right? Here's what I do. I'd go onto their website at cooperwinecompany.com. Go look it up. Go onto
We
Facebook.
should have been more prepared.
Yeah, go onto Facebook, type in Cooper Wine Company. You'll find them on Facebook. Then you'll see their website. Go to their website, find something that you like, whether it's you'll look, right? And there's none of them that are bad. And even order a bottle or order two, but at least order one bottle so that you can try it if you've never, ever, ever had it, right?
Especially
Now-
if you can't get to them. If
Yeah.
you can get to them, always go there first,
Yep.
just because the experience is worth it. But especially right now, I mean, shoot, we're in December
Yeah,
and we're in Western Washington. They're not.
yeah,
So if nothing else, order something
yeah.
and check it out.
Just go order a bottle so you can try it, right? And then the next thing is, you know, a lot of people watching this are over on our side of the mountain, so they're on the western side, so they're not going to be going over while the snow's flying in the winter.
Right.
So when the weather breaks and it's time for us to go start seeing other places, put Cooper on your list, and make sure you go visit. While you're there, here's the cool part. If you've never been to Red Mountain, here's the cool part: is they have a bunch of phenomenal wineries that you can go to while you're there. Cooper's not the only one, but put Cooper on your list. And if you go to Red Mountain, you have to put Cooper on your list, right? Amongst all the others.
I would suggest you put Cooper on your list at the
last, yeah. So make it probably typically people do 3 to 4 stops in a day. Make it your third or fourth stop.
Cooper's right about is always a party.
Yeah, and if you go there in the summer, the spring, when the light's going to be out longer, you know, get there later in the afternoon so you can enjoy the sun going down. You can sit outside, the sun coming down, and you know, and if you're there, ask whoever's working if Neil happens to be working. First of all, ask if Sherry's working. She might be the one actually doing the tasting for you. And if she is, say hello and thank her for all the hard work she does, because she's kick-ass. She just does it, right? Then ask to see if Neil's working. If he's there, just introduce yourself. And hopefully, you know, you get a chance to spend some time with him just like we did. We were very fortunate. And we can't wait to get back out there. I can promise you this, we will be doing events out there in 2021,
Neil will call you later.
Yeah, we'll tell you when. The bald spot. We'll be out there.
Just think if you still had hair.
Yeah, right. So we'll be at the bald spot, which was maybe I should say the bald spot named after me. Thanks, Neil. It was named something else till Neil met me. Then he renamed it the bald spot. How about that one?
You know, whatever it is, whatever it's your story, right? Baby.
We'll be there for that. We'll be there for. We're talking about some other Red Mountain events. Then where we end on a Friday or a Saturday at one place, another place at Cooper Wines. Mm-hmm. We're going to be doing some of that. So when you see us open those up and promote those, if you can get a chance to get away and come with us and go to those. And because they're going to be some special events. I know they are. We've done events for a long time. And I know that Neil has done events for a long time. And I think when you put those together,
throw a party.
Yeah, when you put them together, they're going to be 10 times as great as us doing it on our own or him doing it on his own. It's just going to be that much better. It's going to be way fun. So you got to put Cooper Wine Company on your list and go enjoy it. Go buy a bottle right now. Just go to the website, buy a bottle, and have it shipped to you so you can have it before Christmas and enjoy it. You can't get the Carmenere. That's for members only, and it sells out.
Hashtag membership has its privileges.
We're picking up 4 bottles tomorrow. Don't come to our house asking for any, because the chances are we probably can't share it with you because we're going to drink it all.
So here's the thing. Kieran actually asked me this morning. He said, so we're getting our Carmenere tomorrow. Is there, anybody that you'd like to share it with? And my response was, I love people and we have amazing friends and I love you all, but I don't like you enough to share my 4 bottles because I only get 4. And Carmenere only comes out, from what I'm aware of, once a year. So I have 4 bottles to last me until December of next year. So sorry, but it's mine.
And I'll be the first one to tell you that for the right special friends of ours that we have, she'd be the first one to share it. She's just trying to play tough and all that stuff right now. So we love sharing wine with friends.
But not my Carmenere. I'll share any other bottle in our anything.
Do you think we got to call this done,
I think we're rambling at this point.
Yeah. So, hey, get to Cooper Wine Company. Absolutely. Ask for Neil, ask for Sherry. Go buy some wine. You're going to love it. You got to go visit them out in Red Mountain. It's a great place to be. Make it your 3rd or 4th stop when the sun's going down. It's not as hot, but it's going to be nice and cool. Nice cool breeze coming. Go walk through the vineyards. Maybe ask them first. I'm not sure if you can just do that on your own. Don't just go walk through the vineyards and then say, well, Kieran said you could do it on a video, because
oh, good Lord.
Neil will say, what the heck are you doing, man? So inquire first, okay? If you have an RV, they have a great thing. They have 5 spots.
Unless you have a membership.
They have 5 spots there now. Oh, I moved my hand. 5 spots that you can use only as a member, and I think they're actually adding to that. So their little RV campground will actually be a little bit bigger. So you can go there only as a member. By the way, when you go there as a member with your RV and park it there, it doesn't cost you anything. So if you went to an RV park, you'd pay 40, 50, 60 bucks a night to stay there. Or you could go to Coops and park literally with the vineyards about 10 feet from where you're parked and
spend 40, 50, 60, 70 times
on wine.
12 times wine
Right?
and
So
barbecue and have just an amazing time. And you can just walk slowly at your own pace back to your RV site and not have to drive anywhere.
and then the last one is that here's the last thing we're working on for you folks here on the western side, on the western southern side especially, right? Because typically all the wine stuff is up in Woodinville area, right? And we live an hour and a half south of Woodinville. We are going to be looking to put on some very special wine events at our home. We have a big backyard space. We have a 1,600 square foot deck, perfect for entertaining. We got the fire pits, we got the wine barrel, we got the really cool space for some smaller private events and doing wine tastings. And I'm really hoping that we're going to be able to talk Coop into coming over and doing a wine tasting. It might just be Coop, or maybe it might be 2 or 3 wineries at one time on our back deck, that when you come in as friends of ours, you can do tastings at 3 different awesome wineries. That's just insane to me. I think that's awesome. So cross your fingers. And
we have some cool ideas and cool stuff coming.
Cross your fingers that we can make that one happen. The Coop will actually come here. Maybe it's when they do come over with their club wine and then end here and do an event here for our special guests, and you'll just love the wine. So all right,
I think we're done.
All right,
Let's
so
cheers.
Hey, let's cheers it. Thanks for joining us in this episode of Bottom of the Bottle with Kieran and Sherry Murray of Let's Talk About Northwest Wines, featuring Cooper Wine Company. And we love you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all again real soon. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night, guys.